Ethan and Clara. It was a rainy afternoon in downtown Seattle, the kind of day when the world seemed to blur behind a curtain of raindrops. Ethan hurried through the streets, his umbrella barely shielding him from the downpour. He loved the city in the rain, how the pavement glistened like polished glass, reflecting the vibrant colors of the buildings. He ducked into a small cafe, hoping for a warm drink to escape the chill. As he stepped inside, the scent of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the sweet aroma of pastries, wrapping around him like a comforting blanket. He scanned the room, searching for a cozy corner when his gaze landed on her. Clara sat at a table near the window, her gaze focused on the book in her hands, oblivious to the world around her. The dim light from the cafe highlighted her delicate features, but it was her eyes that captured Ethan's attention. Deep brown, framed by long lashes, they sparkled with intelligence and warmth. A smile danced on her lips as she turned a page, and in that instant, Ethan felt as though he had been struck by lightning. Something about her drew him in, a magnetic pull he couldn't resist. Mustering his courage, he approached her table, his heart racing with anticipation. "Excuse me," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. Clara looked up, her eyes widening in surprise, before softening into a smile that made his heart skip. "Hi there," she replied, her voice melodic and inviting. "I couldn't help but notice you're reading my favorite book." Ethan's nerves melted away as he took a seat across from her. "Really? It's incredible, isn't it?" he said, gesturing to the cover. "I just started it, and I'm already hooked." Clara's eyes sparkled with enthusiasm. "The characters are so well written. You're in for a wild ride." Their conversation flowed effortlessly, filled with shared insights and laughter, as if they had known each other for ages. Ethan found himself captivated by her passion for literature and the way her face lit up when she spoke. They exchanged stories about their lives, discovering common interests and dreams hidden beneath the surface. As the rain continued to pour outside, the cafe felt warm and intimate, a bubble where only they existed. Ethan felt a connection that was both exhilarating and terrifying, and he couldn't help but wonder if she felt it too. "So, what do you do when you're not diving into books?" Clara asked, leaning in with genuine curiosity. "I'm a graphic designer," he replied, his smile widening. "I love creating art that tells a story. How about you?" "I'm a freelance writer," she said, a hint of pride in her voice. "I love weaving words into worlds." Their eyes locked for a moment, and Ethan felt a rush of electricity. "That's amazing," he said sincerely. "I'd love to read something you've written." Clara blushed, her cheeks turning a soft shade of pink. "Maybe I'll let you read my latest piece sometime," she teased, her playful smile igniting something deep within him. As the afternoon melted into evening, the cafe began to empty, the rain still falling softly outside. Ethan knew he didn't want this moment to end. "Can I take you out for dinner?" he asked, his heart pounding in his chest. Clara's eyes widened, and for a moment, he feared she might decline. "I'd love that," she replied, her smile radiant. They left the cafe together, stepping into the cool evening air, the rain having softened to a gentle drizzle. Underneath the shelter of his umbrella, they walked side by side, their shoulders brushing against each other, sending sparks through Ethan's veins. As they navigated the slick sidewalks, he stole glances at Clara, her laughter light and infectious, her eyes glimmering like stars in the dim light. They found a cozy little Italian restaurant, the warm glow of candles casting a romantic ambiance around them. Over pasta and wine, their connection deepened. They shared stories about their childhoods, their hopes and dreams, discovering more about each other with every passing moment. Ethan found himself entranced by Clara's passion for life, her ambition, and her unwavering belief in the power of storytelling. "You know," she said, pausing for a moment, "I've always believed that the best stories come from the heart." "I completely agree," Ethan replied earnestly, his eyes locked onto hers. "That's why I feel like there's something special about our story." Clara's gaze softened, and he could see the wheels turning in her mind. "What do you mean?" she asked, curiosity dancing in her eyes. "I mean, we just met, but it feels like there's a connection between us." he said, leaning in slightly. I can't shake the feeling that this is just the beginning. Clara smiled, a hint of shyness creeping into her expression. I feel it too, she admitted, her cheeks flushing. But I've been hurt before, and it's hard to let my guard down. Ethan reached across the table, taking her hand in his. You don't have to be afraid with me. I promise to be gentle with your heart. Their eyes locked, and in that moment, Ethan knew he was falling for her. After dinner, they strolled through the streets, the rain having ceased, leaving a fresh scent in the air and a soft glow from the streetlights. As they walked, their hands brushed against each other, and Ethan couldn't resist the urge to hold her hand firmly in his. Clara looked up at him, surprise flickering in her eyes before a smile broke through. This feels nice, she said softly, intertwining her fingers with his. Their connection deepened as they talked about their favorite books and authors, their dreams for the future, and their thoughts on love and relationships. With every shared story, Ethan felt the walls around Clara's heart begin to crumble, and he was determined to show her he was different. What if we did something adventurous next time? He suggested, his eyes sparkling with mischief. Like hiking or visiting a museum? Clara laughed, her eyes shining brightly. I'd love that. I'm always up for an adventure. They made plans for the weekend, excitement bubbling between them as the night drew to a close. When they finally reached Clara's apartment building, Ethan felt a pang of disappointment that their time together was ending. But as they stood outside, the air crackling with unspoken feelings, he knew he had to take a leap of faith. Can I kiss you? He asked, his heart pounding. Clara's breath hitched, and for a moment, he worried he had overstepped. But then she nodded, her eyes filled with anticipation. Ethan leaned in, their lips meeting softly at first, but as they melted into the kiss, it deepened, igniting a fire within them both. Clara's hands found their way to his hair, pulling him closer, and Ethan felt as if the world around them had vanished. It was just the two of them, lost in each other's eyes, in that perfect moment. When they finally pulled apart, Clara looked breathless, her cheeks flushed. Wow, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. That was amazing. Ethan couldn't help but grin, his heart soaring. It was, he agreed, his voice low and sincere. I feel like I've been waiting for this moment my whole life. Clara's smile widened, a mix of joy and uncertainty in her eyes. Me too, she admitted. But I'm scared, Ethan. I know, he said softly, brushing a stray hair behind her ear. But I promise I'll be here no matter what. They exchanged a lingering gaze, both aware of the journey ahead, filled with excitement and the unknown. As they said their goodbyes, Ethan felt a sense of hope blooming within him. He had found something special in Clara, and he was determined to nurture their connection, to prove to her that love was worth the risk. Over the next few weeks, their relationship blossomed, filled with laughter, adventures, and stolen kisses. They explored the city together, their hands entwined as they shared stories and dreams, each moment weaving a tapestry of memories that bound them closer. But with each passing day, Clara's hesitation returned, shadows of her past creeping into her mind. One evening, as they sat on a park bench overlooking the city, Clara's expression turned serious. Ethan, can we talk? She said, her voice laced with uncertainty. His heart dropped, sensing the weight of her words. Of course! What's on your mind? I care about you so much, but I'm scared of getting hurt again, she confessed, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. I don't want to push you away, but I don't know how to let my guard down. Ethan reached for her hand, squeezing it gently. I understand, Clara, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm here for the long haul, and I want to help you through this. She looked up at him, vulnerability etched across her features. But what if I can't let go of my past? What if it ruins everything? We all have a past, he replied softly. But it doesn't define who we are or what we can become together. I believe in us. Clara took a deep breath, her gaze shifting to the city lights twinkling in the distance. I want to believe that too, she said, her voice trembling. But it's hard. Ethan leaned closer, his heart aching for her. Then let me be your support. We can take baby steps together. You don't have to rush into anything." Their eyes locked, and Clara nodded slowly, a glimmer of hope breaking through her fear. They spent the rest of the evening talking, crafting a plan to navigate the complexities of their relationship, both determined to make it work. As the weeks turned into months, they faced challenges together, learning to trust and communicate openly. Ethan supported Clara as she worked through her fears, encouraging her to confront the pain of her past while reminding her of her strength. They shared laughter, tears, and countless adventures, each moment solidifying their bond. Yet, just as they felt they had built a solid foundation, life threw another obstacle in their path. Clara received a job offer in another city, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that would require her to relocate. The news hit Ethan like a tidal wave, and they sat together on the couch, the weight of the decision heavy between them. "It's an incredible opportunity," Clara said, her voice wavering. "But I don't want to leave you behind. I don't want you to miss out on your dreams, Clara," Ethan replied, his heart aching. "But what does this mean for us?" The uncertainty hung in the air, and Ethan could see the conflict in her eyes. "I don't know. I want to take the job, but I can't bear the thought of losing you." "You won't lose me," he said firmly, reaching for her hand. "We can make long-distance work. If this is what you want, I'll support you." Tears filled Clara's eyes, and she leaned her head against his shoulder, feeling the comfort of his presence. "What if it's too hard?" she whispered. "What if the distance tears us apart?" Ethan wrapped his arms around her, holding her close. "We'll make it work. I believe in us, and I know our love is strong enough to withstand anything." They spent the evening talking through their fears, crafting a plan to stay connected despite the miles between them. As the sun set, casting a warm glow over the room, Clara looked up at Ethan, her heart swelling with gratitude. "Thank you for being so understanding," she said softly. "I'm scared, but I want to take this leap. We'll figure it out together," he assured her, kissing her forehead gently. Their connection deepened as they navigated the challenges of long-distance love. They exchanged messages, video calls, and surprise care packages, keeping their bond alive despite the miles. Ethan visited Clara whenever he could, and each time they were together, it felt like coming home. But as the months passed, the distance began to weigh heavily on Clara's heart. One night, as she lay in bed, she received a message from Ethan. "I miss you," it read. Her heart ached as she typed her response. "I miss you too, more than words can say." She felt the familiar pang of longing, the absence of his presence, leaving an emptiness she couldn't ignore. That weekend, Clara decided to surprise Ethan by visiting him. She booked a flight and arrived at his apartment, excitement bubbling within her. When Ethan opened the door, his face lit up with surprise and joy. "Clara, I can't believe you're here," he exclaimed, pulling her into a tight embrace. "I missed you so much." Clara felt a rush of warmth as they held each other, and in that moment, she knew she had made the right decision. They spent the weekend exploring the city, laughter echoing through the streets as they created new memories. But as they lay in bed on the last night of her visit, Clara's heart felt heavy. "Ethan, I don't think I can keep doing this," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "The distance is too hard." Ethan turned to her, concern etched on his face. "What do you mean?" "I love you, but I feel like I'm losing myself in all of this," she admitted, tears spilling down her cheeks. "I don't want to hold you back, but I also don't know how to make this work." Ethan reached for her, wiping away her tears with gentle fingers. "You're not holding me back. I want to support you, but we need to find a solution together." Clara took a deep breath, her heart racing. "What if I took the job but also found a way to make things work between us? I don't want to choose between my dreams and our love." Ethan smiled softly, hope flickering in his eyes. "I'd like that. I want you to pursue your dreams, but I also want you in my life. We can make this work." They spent the rest of the night crafting a plan, filled with hope and determination. As Clara prepared to leave the next morning, she felt a renewed sense of purpose. "I'll make this work, Ethan," she promised, her eyes shining with determination. "We'll find a way." They shared a passionate kiss, filled with love and longing, as they embraced the uncertainty of the future together. As Clara boarded her flight, she glanced out the window, her heart full of hope. She knew their journey would be challenging, but with Ethan by her side, she felt ready to face anything. Their love was worth fighting for, and as the plane soared into the sky, she closed her eyes, feeling lost in the possibility of their future together.